afternoon as we have gathered together in God's presence this afternoon to witness the marriage of Timothy and Drew. So we're delighted to be here with them in this setting this afternoon, and so as we gather before God, we're going to ask God to bless them and to affirm the joy and freedom of the union that they have discovered and enjoy in one another. And so always in that assurance of God's promise to be with us at all times in all parts of our lives, let us pray. Creator God, your care of each and every one of us reaches into every corner of your creation, and all living things are contained in your creative delight. You have blessed Drew and Timothy with the love that brings them here today, and so may that love that they have discovered in one another and in themselves continue to grow as they commit their lives to each other today and forever. Amen. Drew and Timothy, you have made it known that you want to be joined in marriage, and no one has shown any valid reason why you may not. Do you declare that there's no lawful reason why you should not be married? Thank you. Timothy, will you take Drew to be your wife? And will you pledge to share your life openly with her, and always to speak the truth to her in love?
I will.
And Drew, will you take Timothy to be your husband? And will you pledge to share your life openly with him, and always to speak the truth to him in love?
I will.
Thank you. I'm going to move forward and turn around. Okay? Just take your time. So by our presence here this afternoon, each and every one of us accepts a different responsibility for helping Drew and Timothy as they begin this new part of their journey together. And they are about to enter into a different relationship with one another now. And so we're called to rejoice in their happiness, to be patient with them when they make mistakes, and they're going to make mistakes because we all do, and always to be there to help them in their times of trouble, and to celebrate with them in their times of celebration. And I hope for some of us always to remember them in our prayers. And so first I ask you, the family and parents and family of Drew and Timothy, do you promise to continue to care for them and support them in their marriage? And if so, please say we do. We do. You can do a little bit better than that. So let's try again. This is just for the family, okay? So do you, the family of Drew and Timothy, do you promise to continue to care for them and support them in their marriage?
We do.
Thank you. And for those folks of you who are friends and who have enjoyed their life with them together so far, do you continue to promise to offer them friendship and to support them in their marriage? And if so, please say we do.
We do.
Thank you. Now I'd like to invite Rosetta to come forward, please. She's a godmother, Drew's godmother, and she is going to share a reading with us this afternoon.
Love is patient and is kind. Love doesn't envy. Love doesn't brag, is not proud. Doesn't behave itself inappropriately, doesn't seek its own way, is not provoked, takes no account of evil, doesn't rejoice in unrighteousness, but rejoices with the truth. Bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails, but where there are prophecies, they will be done away with.
Thank you. And now Sandy, Drew's mother, is going to share a reading with us.
You were born together, and together you shall be forevermore. You shall be together when white wings of death scatter your days. Aye, you shall be together even in the silent memory of God. But let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of the heavens dance with you. Love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. Fill each other's cup, but drink not from one cup. Give one another of your bread, but eat not from the same loaf. Sing and dance together and be joyous, but let each one of you be alone, even as the strings of a lute are alone. Stop. Though they quiver with the same music. Give your hearts, but not into each other's keeping, for only the hand of life can contain your hearts. And stand together, yet not near together. For the pillars of the temple stand apart, and the oak tree and the cypress grow not into each other's shadow.
Thank you. Let us pray. Oh God, we ask you to bless these hands that will be joined before you together today. May they always be held by one another. We ask you to give them the strength to hold on during the storms of dark and disappointment, and also in the times of happiness and celebration. Keep them tender and gentle as they nurture each other in love. And help these hands to continue building a relationship. And may the words that are spoken in promise always be held dear in their hearts. And we ask this in your name. Amen. In the presence of our families and our friends.
In our presence of our family and our friends,
I, Timothy, take you, Drew, to be my wife.
I, Timothy, take you, Drew, to be my wife.
My partner in life.
My partner in life,
My one true love.
my one true love.
I will cherish
I will cherish our union
and be your faithful partner.
and be your faithful partner
In sickness and in health.
in sickness and in health,
In good times and in bad.
in good times and in bad.
And in joy as well as sorrow.
Endure as well as
And in joy.
in joy as well as in sorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. So it became.
To love you unconditionally.
I promise to love you unconditionally,
To support you in your goals.
to support you in your goals,
To honor and respect you.
to honor and to respect you,
To laugh with you.
to laugh with you,
To cry with you.
to cry with you,
And to grow with you.
to grow with you.
I give you my hand,
I give you my hand,
my heart,
my heart,
and my love.
and my love,
As long as we both shall live.
for as long as we both shall live.
Well done. Ready? In the presence of our families and friends,
In the presence of our families and friends,
I, Drew, take you, Timothy, to be my husband.
I take you to be my husband.
Shift and everything. My partner in life
My partner in life
and my constant friend.
and my constant friend.
I will cherish our union
I will cherish our union
and be your faithful partner
and be your faithful partner
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
in good times and in bad,
in good times and in bad,
and in joy as well as sorrow.
and in joy as well as sorrow.
I promise to love you unconditionally,
I promise to love you unconditionally,
to support you in your goals,
to support you in your goals,
to honor and respect you,
to honor and respect you,
to laugh with you and to cry with you,
to laugh with you and cry with you,
nurture you
and
to grow with you throughout the seasons of life.
and to grow with you.
These are the wedding rings that Drew and Timothy are going to exchange, and whenever I hold wedding rings, I'm always amazed at the difference in the size, in the width, and sometimes in the breadth too, and that's the case in this. But they are circles, and we hope and pray that as these are continuing circles, that's how their love will be, that their love will continue to go round and round as circles do, and continue to grow as they grow in the various stages of their life, which they will certainly go through together. And so Drew, let me tip this Drew's. Okay. And put the thing up, and I put the other one, all right? I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a sign of my love
as a sign of my love,
and the symbol of the vows we have made today.
the symbol of the vows we have made today.
It's tips. Okay. Ready? Here. I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a sign of my love
as a sign of my love
and the symbol of the vows we have made today.
and a symbol of the vows we've made today.
Well done. You have declared your consent and your vows before God and before your friends and your family gathered here. May God confirm your covenant and fill you both with grace. Now that Drew and Timothy have given themselves with the joining of hands, with vows and with the exchange of rings, I announce to you that they are indeed husband and wife in the name of God. May God bless you and keep you, and may God make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And may God always look upon you with kindness and bring you peace. And you may exchange your kiss. let us join together in prayer. Let us pray. Oh God, you are a God of new beginnings, and so we give you thanks for this day that brings us together. And today we most especially bring before you Drew and Timothy. We pray, oh God, that as they begin this next part of their journey together, that they will grow in friendship and in love and enjoy life together. We give you thanks for families and friends which have helped them to get to this point in their lives. Families that have guided them to maturity and prepared them to make a commitment. Give them the strength, oh God, to keep the vows that they've made today. Help them to be loyal and faithful always to one another and to support each other throughout life. And remind each and every one of us, oh God, of the promises that we've made in life before and will continue to make. And strengthen us, oh God, to be able to keep those promises in the best way that we can. And we ask these things in your name. Amen.
We're supposed to